Hey there. So, what's common between all diseases like swine flu, COVID, tetanus, and whatnot? It's the humble, give it to me, anda. That's right. All the vaccines created to treat these diseases come from testing on special eggs. In today's Hidden Gem, we're going to talk about what this special egg is and who actually manufactures this special egg so we can get all those vaccines. आओ सिखाओ तुम्हें अंडे का फंडा ये नहीं प्यारे. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Venky's India Private Limited. You've probably heard of this company. They manufacture and they're known for chickens, frozen chickens. You can actually buy these meat patties, etc., from the supermarket and cook it at home. But they're also known for these special eggs. Now, these special eggs are only manufactured by Venky's. So a little bit about the company. The company has an interesting origin story. Dr. B.V. Rao's Bibi, Uttara, she noticed many decades ago that a lot of people were having a particular kind of disease, especially in children, which today we know as bird flu. And the only way to actually solve this was to provide meat which was actually clean and disease-free. So she prompted her husband to start a poultry farm which was disease-free. And that's exactly what happened. This led to Venkateshwara Hatcheries, which eventually became Venky's. Now, apart from manufacturing chicken and eggs, they also manufactured a special kind of egg called the SPF egg. So let's talk about these special SPF eggs. ये वो sunblock वाला SPF नहीं है. It's special pathogen-free eggs. Now, basically, it's a complex process, and there's only one company in the country, in India, that actually produces it. And Venky's actually globally is the 4th largest producer of this kind of egg. So what is it? Well, first, a group of poultry or a group of birds are selected on the basis of no diseases, eggshell quality, feed intake, etc. And then this group of birds is cleaned of all transmitted diseases over 3 or 4 generations. Now, this takes 6 to 7 years until you finally produce or you've bred this super bird. Now, this super bird is not even given any antibiotics or any vaccines. They're even tested every 2 weeks, 42 different kinds of antibodies. So you can imagine that this is a special bird that took almost a decade to come into existence. Not only that, since these birds are sachi mein sone ke ande dene wali murgi, they're kept in a biosecure environment where even the air quality is maintained through these HEPA filters that they have in this biosecure environment. Anyway, it's a long, complex, and requires lots of patience to actually develop this kind of egg. Now, the egg itself is perfect for testing of vaccines. So you can imagine the people who are actually buying these eggs are like Serum Institute and Hester. Serum, we know, produces COVID vaccines. So they actually needed these eggs to produce that vaccine. And I'm also thinking, ये एक अंडा 5-10 रुपए का नहीं होगा. This one egg is probably 10,000, 20,000. God knows how much. It's a pretty expensive egg. Imagine someone walking with a tray fell. That's pretty expensive. The interesting thing about this special egg is that 45% of revenue of Venky's comes from that egg. Now, this means that this is a good moat for this company because it's impossible to copy because it requires a lot of time and, as you know, it's a complex process. So a lot of us thought Venky's is just chicken packaged frozen that you go home and buy and eggs, but it's actually a little more than that. Half of it comes from this special kind of egg. Okay, cool. So let's look at the financials. I have it over here. And I'm looking at sales, that's the top line revenue, from 2011 all the way to 2022. Now, the interesting thing is we've gone from 852 crores top line all the way to 4,400 crores top line. That's actually pretty decent growth over this, 11-year period, right? But what's interesting is the operating profit margin. You'll notice it moves between 12-13% all the way to something as low as 4 or 5%. But 1 year actually stands out. 2020, the operating profit margin was minus 1%, and it is actually a loss year. Now, why was that? The reason is that because financials we're looking at 2020, this is actually a reflection of what happened in 2019. that's when the bird flu epidemic happened in the country. So that's the year they actually had to take losses because there was bird flu. Manufacturing took a halt and a lot of operating issues happened. But the interesting thing is, the next year, that is 2021, that's 2020 actual operating, was a 12% margin, revenue also went up and was profitable. This was because that's when COVID happened and suddenly the Ande Ka Funda actually worked and their eggs became in high demand. Now, while you were going through this, I was thinking, how many eggs do someone really need this special SPF egg? Turns out they produce 10 lakh special SPF eggs every month last time we checked. So that's a pretty high number. Another thing you'll notice is that they pay some dividends, so you'll see a dividend payout percentage over there. So now let's look at their balance sheet, and there are only two things that are interesting here. One is their reserves, and you'll notice their reserves is 265 crores in 2011. Then you scroll ahead to 2021 or 22, it's 1,200 crores. That's not bad. And the only way this happens is when your net profits actually move back, and that becomes your bank account balance or your cash reserves. But compare the cash reserves to the amount that they've borrowed, which is 199 crores or 200 crores. That's actually a very small amount. What's interesting about this company is that since their asset is that Sone Ki Murgi, and after that it pays sort of dividends over many years, their initial investment is high and then their investment keeps coming down. So you can see this on the balance sheet in the investment section. In 2011, 12, 13, you'll see numbers like 90 crores, 30 crores, and 30 crores again. And then over the years, say after 2016, it's reduced to almost just a few crore rupees. And you'll notice in 2021, again, they have invested in plants, etc. So what this basically means is that there's a one-time expense. That investment then pays dividends over a long period of time. But in 2021, there has suddenly been a large investment. Can you dig through this and tell me, what do you think they actually invested in? Was it more in the SPF? Was it more plants? What was it? I'd love to know in the comments below. Now let's look at the shareholding pattern. What's interesting is that the promoter has held 56% since 2019, and that's not changed at all. That's always a good thing. But there's still one red flag. After all this story of all these nice things, there's still one thing which is not good. FIIs just don't seem to want to buy this company. If you notice, the number of FIIs has actually fallen, which hold Venky's. Is the company too small? Is there something we're missing? I have no idea. If you do, put it in the comments. Maybe we can discover it together. Finally, we'll talk about price. If you look at the share, you'll see that it went up during the COVID time. Obviously, it made sense because of the egg. We've talked about it a million times in this video. But overall, if you open the monthly chart and zoom out, you'll see that the stock is not going anywhere. As a trader, I realize no matter how good the company is, no matter how much it's growing, if you do not have demand, price will not go up. Now, this remains a mystery to me. As a trader, if I see an uptrend and this is moving up, it would have been a nice company to buy. But from a technical viewpoint, even over a decade, there is no uptrend or there is no long-term buying of institutions of this company. Again, I don't know why, but just looking at price, it just seems sideways. If you have a different opinion, put it in the comments below. I just wanted to share this because I was surprised there's a 10,000 rupee egg out in the market. Fundamentally, this stock is actually very interesting. The story is beautiful, and now you know the Ande Ka Funda as well. But technically, this stock actually sucks. I won't lie. I mean, there's nothing nice of this stock. Now, fundamentals may say, buy this company, in 10 years it may just go, or at some point in the future it may just go 10x. The technical guys will say, when it goes up, I will then join the party. I don't know what the answer is. If you're a technical guy, put in your views below. If you're a fundamental guy, put in your views. I think it's time technicals and fundamentals have this little war in the comment section so we can understand, is this a good company, bad, or you have no opinion, it's just a good story.